Hitting costs beyond the ransom demand, and this is sort of important. Loss of service to public sectors, lost revenue. Now again, by and large, we're government operations. We don't worry too much about revenue. But remember in 2017, Atlanta got hit. They were unable to collect taxes. Baltimore was unable to collect water payments. So lost revenue is real.
Yeah.
Ransomware payments. The post-mortem investigation. We always say, even if you get everything back, you have to go through and figure out how they got in, close those holes. Your data was left open to the internet. You have to scrub your data. That takes effort. Your cyber insurance premium goes up. Technology hardening. You may have to replace a lot of things, some of which you were planning to replace, but not right now. Software updates, legal costs, the reputational damage. And again, that's important for public safety. Our reputation is really crucial. Possible loss of intellectual property and multi-part attacks. What we mean by that is that they are coming back. There's some data dating back a little bit, but whereas about 78% of the time they came back for a second hit in general, 100% in government. They come back for a second time.
At least. And in some statistics go as far as to see if they come back more than twice. And that's also high.
And downtime is expensive. The most recent ransomware attack in 2021 cost an estimated $1.4 million to recover from. It took an average 1 month to repair and restore operations back to normal. That's expensive. That's downtime. Data is lost even when the ransom is paid. Even after paying the ransom, only 65% of the data was restored. So do not expect that data and business continuity will be restored after paying the ransom unless you have a reliable backup to recover your data from. Only 8% of organizations manage to recover all data.
And that should come as a surprise to no one, honestly.
You get hit a second time, as I said. 28% of respondents who paid the ransom, 80% of them got hit with a second ransomware attack. And 68% got hit a second time within a month and for a higher ransom. So the first is just a test. Are you willing to pay? If the answer is yes, well then pay more. And the time spent on remediation, according to a new report from Webroot on the hidden costs of ransomware, 40% of victims who suffered ransomware attacks had to devote 8 or more hours to remediate. I would say that if you get away with 8 hours, that's a victory. It's often a lot more than that.
Yeah, if you're in the 8-hour category, congratulations, honestly. But that's 40%. 40% is a hefty number.
And if you pay the ransom, did you make all of your communities, vendors, customers, peers, supply chains, et cetera, targets? And I want to talk about this for a moment because we actually saw a live example of this in 2019. County in Florida got hit, paid a then record ransom of over $600,000. Within a month, the 2 counties nearest to it got hit as well. Because if it is obvious that one of your reactions is going to be to pay the ransom, well, here's the thing. The bad guys know that we talk to each other. They may not know about APCO, they may not know about Nina, but they know that something like it exists. So if you pay, their assumption is that your neighbor will pay too. So paying the ransom doesn't just, give them money to play with to hire more programmers, doesn't just prove the efficacy, it also makes the next county over the target, which means that if your neighbor pays, and they might have to, if your neighbor pays, double down on all of your procedures to protect you, because there's some likelihood that you're getting hit next. The ransom payments are a small percentage of what we pay. The industry in prepackaged software, NotPetya, which we've used before, because NotPetya is not actually ransomware, because they can't restore. It's just an attack. Lost income of $68 million. Remediation and response of $24 million. Other losses of $50 million. And the estimated insurance payment was $30 million. Pharmaceutical, again, lost income of $410 million. Remediation and response cost the pharmaceutical industry $320 million. Financial services, their extortion is the big one. But again, the estimated insurance payment goes up. Information technology services got hit with Ryuk. And again, $35 million in insurance, as well as $50 million, $49.5 million in remediation. You'll pardon me for rounding that to $50 million. And lost income of $9 million. US counties, extortion, $500,000, remediation and response, $400,000. The insurance payments is unknown. And insurance agents themselves got hit with CryptoLocker in March of 2021, paid $100 million in insurance, but also the extortion and other losses was another $100 million. 15% is what is actually paid in ransomware. Everything else is what it costs to restore. Because time is money. The time to recover, disaster recovery experts say that the typical productivity loss is 8 to 20% during an outage. What that means is, yes, we can move to paper. What's our productivity loss? There's a reason we moved away from paper. Computers are more efficient. In Q2, the average days of downtime was measured at 24 days, a decrease of 8% from Q1. That's good news, but still 24 days is a lot. And this is the reason it went down is there's a higher prevalence of attacks that only involve data exfiltration. Once the data is exfiltrated, there's actually less to do because the data is gone. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I think the point there was that they weren't bothering encrypting in some cases. They were just trying to get you to pay for extortion. So, and we're starting to see that too. I think they termed the phrase extortionware, where they just left off the encryption part and they focused on the extortion of the data that they exfiltrated.